We're joined now by Ariel Cohen, Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council, to talk about the latest on the conflict in Russia and Ukraine. And Ariel, we just heard Ed there mention that the NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg said this conflict could drag on for years. How long do you anticipate this continuing for, and what could bring it to an early conclusion?
Well, we are living in an era of a very high uncertainty. It could drag for years, as Mr. Stoltenberg said. It could end this year under the following scenario. If the Russians attack, as everybody is expecting them to attack, in the east of Ukraine, punch through Mariupol that is resisting heroically, continue through already occupied Kherson, to the large port city of Mykolaiv, and then to the capital of the south, Odessa, and fail in that, if Ukrainians are as effective as they were in the north, then it could be that there'll be a big pushback inside the Russian leadership against Putin's plans. In fact, Putin is destroying not just hundreds of billions of dollars worth of value in Russia, be it portfolio value, destroying foreign direct investment, denying Russia vital technology for oil and gas. Putin is destroying 300 years of Russia orienting itself towards Europe. Since Peter the Great, early 1700s, Russia was trying to integrate into Europe, and it became the largest military power in Europe. It defeated Napoleon and Hitler. But now they will become a raw materials appendage of China. And I'm sure a lot of people in the Russian elite are not happy about that.
So give me your sense of what you know about how this conflict is being perceived from within Russia right now. Do you have information or any intelligence on that front?
Oh, I'm crawling on Telegram channels and discussion groups, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. But unfortunately, the Russian propaganda is massive and very effective. So there are a lot of reports of polls. We need to take this polling with a grain of salt. When I was young, I supported myself running audience research, and I know a couple of things about polling. So if you have a polling situation in Russia where 7 out of 10 people refuse to answer, this is not adequate. This is not adequate polling. Nevertheless, the Russians are reporting 83% support of Putin and increased support of the State Duma and the ruling party, United Russia. In reality, it's very, very different and stratified. The younger, more educated urban population is more critical of the war, whereas the babushkas, the older segment of the population that watches TV, watches Putin's propaganda, they are with the program. They believe in what Putin is telling them. I do believe that the sanctions will change that. In Russian, it's called the competition between the fridge and the TV set. So when your fridge is all empty, you do not believe your TV set.
To what degree has Russia managed to insulate itself against sanctions? What are you hearing about on that front and the severity of how they're biting?
First of all, the sanctions are just beginning. I hear that some hygiene products are missing. Medication is not always available. Russia is not producing a lot of medication. They import a lot from India. But they also imported a lot from Europe and from the United States. Russia is not dependent on the U.S. that much, only $38 billion a year trade before sanctions, but it does depend on Europe quite a lot. They do not manufacture a lot of things domestically, from cars to food additives. And China is incapable of replacing everything. It is incapable of replacing high-quality products and ingredients and microchips and whatnot. So I do believe that it's a long story. It's a long knife, as I call it. And once this knife is turned, Russian economy is going to lose not 10% like Goldman Sachs is predicting, but 15 or 20%, and that will be felt in the Russian public, in the Russian population, and the support of the Putin regime will decline.
Is there a role for China to play in trying to resolve this conflict, or is that too much to ask at this point?
It's not just too much to ask. I think strategically, China thought that Russia is a powerful ally, and the 5,000-word declaration that Xi Jinping and Putin published during the Olympics suggests that Russia and China in tandem were about to challenge the United States. Well, it's not going so well for Russia, and China is drawing lessons and trying to distance itself. We just noticed that Chinese oil companies said that they're not going to trade in Russian oil, if I remember correctly. So the Chinese are facing a dire choice between being a good ally to Russia or losing hundreds of billions of dollars because of sanctions. And I would add just one more thing. If we go towards secondary sanctions, sanctioning companies that trade with Russia, the Chinese will suffer a lot, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to be in that hot spot, in that hot seat of being Russia's enabler.
Ariel, 20 seconds. What's the end game for Putin?
He could drag it. It's Putin as Fidel Castro under sanctions and just dragging it on until he dies in office, or there is a serious pushback and he may be removed, like Nikita Khrushchev, who mishandled the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1964. He was removed.
Ariel, good stuff. Always a pleasure to have the chance to talk with you about this topic, as difficult as it is. Ariel Cohen is Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council, joining us here on Daybreak Asia.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to get more content like this.